Well, this is my Jeep TDI swap. So just some pointers for people. I'm running the stock Volkswagen throttle pedal thingy-majiggy hooked to the stock Jeep TJ cable, throttle cable, so you don't gotta change nothing under the dash or nothing in my situation. I don't know if it's 100% waterproof, but it's been good for 2 years so far. I'm running the stock Volkswagen Jetta 98 red electric fans, but I've only had the fans on I think once in like 100,000 kilometers. These motors run super cold, well, especially if a Jeep, the big girl in the Jeep. And then stock fuel, well, the fuel filter and whatever lines and stuff. And that's the overflow. Running all the stock wiring, just cut down from the TDI, so it's stayed electronic. Got Malone to build me a custom tunes so it would never go into limp mode and stuff in case I had underboost or overboost. All stock lines, just a cobbled together intercooler for now till I buy a new one. It's got a hood scoop, but so far it's working good for that. I didn't move the motor at all, left the motor in the stock position. There's not much room, but a couple hits with the hammer, it cleared enough. Plus I'm running the AAZ turbo and turbo manifold, which moved the turbo up a lot higher, because I had a problem every time I went in the mud or water, I cracked the stock turbo, TDI turbo. And the mounts are just the stock Volkswagen ones, the rubber mounts, slash hydraulic I guess. And custom brackets, just bolts to the block. It's hard to see, but I got no light on this camera. I just cut the intake, used to point backwards. I just chopped it off. Now just put a rubber boot on it, goes straight up and towards the front because it wouldn't clear the stock TJ heater hoses. In the front, I guess I just took 2 Volkswagen V-belt pulleys, cut them in 2, welded them together. That way I can run just a cheap 1-wire Chevy alternator you can get anywhere, because the Volkswagen ones are a little dear and hard to come by. These ones are pretty much, everybody's got one in the garage. I'm running the stock Volkswagen power steering pump with 2 lines. That's the stock Volkswagen path, and I welded it together to the TJ line. And then so I can run the power steering the exact same as a Jeep. I'm trying to think. In the transmission, I'm running the stock Jeep transmission with Toyota bellhousing input shaft and the Toyota 222R clutch and starter, whatever it is, down there somewhere, starter and stuff. That way it's all just easy to come by and off-the-shelf parts in case they're broken down somewhere far from home. Just had to make my own metal lines to go to the red with the stock rubber ends, but got a little leak, that's leaking down. So I'm running the stock TJ gas heat sensor. Just put it in the line with the stock Volkswagen one goes to the computer. I run the oil pressure sensor out of the TJ, bolts right in back of the oil filter. Hard to see, but you can't really see, but when you're working on them, you'll know. That way I left the stock computer, the stock Jeep computer. That way all my gauges, everything still work the same. And then plus I have the Volkswagen gauges too if I want. Just plug this in the OB2 port. But it starts and, turn power on. It starts and drives just like a stock Jeep. Everything works, the gauges, oil pressure, everything. I put a boost gauge just so I can monitor the boost. And put a sun tack. Just because my stock TJ tack broke years ago. It's just a stock Canadian Tire sun tack that you can go from 4-cylinder to V6 to V8, and it's just wired right to the Volkswagen computer. There's no big deal, you don't need no converters or nothing. That way I use the stock drive shaft stuff because I didn't move the motor and stuff. I run a Hummer lift pump back along the frame, and then I had to put new line in the tank because I kept getting air in the line using the stock line from the Jeep. You have to remove the pump and stuff because they don't like no air in the lines. So if you have any questions, I guess just write and I'll try to answer them when I can. Not always on YouTube or Facebook all the time, but I'll write them back when I can. I hope that answers some questions.